So the next thing I want to talk about is something that there seems to be just a million books about right now, in nonfiction at least, about daily habits and just habit making and sort of some strategies to approach this. The reason that I think it's written about so much now, by the way, is that although we live in many ways in a great time, freedom of information is, there's great things happening now. The internet, things like that. We are very aware of the upsides of these things. But I think what has been increasingly obvious is that we live in the most distracted time in history. It's so easy to become distracted. And the distractions are getting better at knowing our brains and how they work and how we get distracted. So it makes sense for advertising especially to understand and be able to manipulate us to be completely addicted to things like Instagram and social media, whatever. Video games is a big one still. It was a big one when I was in high school, and it's continuing to be very, very addictive for many people. So when I was a teenager, I played a lot of video games with my friends, and I also was not really into reading at that point. And I did pretty well in school, but it still wasn't good enough to get me into animation that first time, that's for sure. And I really wish I hadn't been so distracted. I felt like I was extremely distracted. The video games especially were just really starting to understand how to be addictive, basically. I think now they're even better at that, but although I'm very disconnected from them now. So it's very, very easy to get distracted. So there's these two sides, right? Where it's like you have the most information and knowledge available to you now. The internet has made that completely flat and basically free. Or very cheap. Even these lessons are an example of that. It wouldn't be so easy to get instruction for animation portfolios in a time when there wasn't the internet. You'd have to go somewhere and be much more exclusive and inexpensive. So now things are much easier to come by. It's much easier to know what are some of the faux pas of the animation portfolio and what are some of the things that are the tips to basically allow you to get in. However, so there's that, all this freedom of information, and then opposing that but it's super easy to get distracted. And it's super easy to feel bad about your art and see amazing art online and internalize that and look at your own art and see, oh geez, I have so far to go. How am I ever going to make that leap from that chasm from one side to the other of being a good artist?